Greetings everyone, welcome back to my sketchbook. It's been a little while since I just sort of sat down. I've been busy with a couple of things. At one point I would have shown you this, which I installed this nib in this holder. This is from someone who gave me this cool nib that says Barnes & Co. number 20 electric. So we can get a little closer. St. John, New Brunswick. It's an old nib. I think it's pretty neat. I'm just putting it in that holder again. I'm going to set that over there for a moment because I'm going to crack out one of my favorite standalone inks. This is from Ferris Wheel Press. This is Royal Rhubarb. It is awesome. Everything about this company, they do the coolest stuff, and their packaging is outrageous. Anyway, so let's just get into this because I think it's brilliant. Look at this cool little bag too. Makers of iconic stationery. Anyway, not sponsored by the way, I just like their stuff. So, this is kind of an ornament looking thing, and I think it's brilliant. Let's set that over there. Open up. I mean, look at this. It's like a brass nut on top. It's one of the coolest things. So yeah, let's see what we can do. Now, this nib is a little bit strange because it's really meant for really smooth paper. And, well, this is not really smooth paper. This is just typical sketchbook paper. It's pretty rough. It's multi sort of medium. Anyway, it's an all-around kind of thing. This is going to be kind of scratchy. Let's see what we can do. I'm going to go roughly about here to start. Kind of lock it down a little bit because, you know, ooh, does that seem kind of blurry? Oh, come on. Okay, well, let's see what that does. I see these things around all over the place. They're gnomes, but generally they seem to be kind of faceless. Now, I'll put a link to some gnomes that I would have drawn, you know, some younger gnomes, let's say gnomes that are in there, I don't know, 250 to 370 sort of range, so quite a bit younger than what I'm going to draw. Now, I think a lot of gnomes are kind of Scandinavian. They're not like elves, so I guess there's that. And like I said, I'm going to do this kind of my own way of doing it too. But it's going to be the faceless sort of gnome. Yeah. Now, for some reason, most of their eyes are kind of hidden. And I think it's just meant to be kind of like a quick folk art kind of thing. But I'm going to put in some eyelashes. At least you and I will know that these are eyelashes. And then this is the hat. I want there to be kind of a split for the mustache. Let's back this out a little bit too, I think. Okay. So it's kind of a loud pen on this paper. Let's dip this pen again here. So yes, royal rhubarb. Kind of a very dark red. At least that's what I kind of see through my amber anti-eye fatigue glasses. Now, again, this is faceless, so we don't necessarily have to have features of the face. Now, some versions of these are kind of like weighted. Some of them have feet, some of them have arms. I don't know if I need to have those features not shown, so I'm going to put some little feet here because I think that's kind of fun. These are going to be shoes though. So I've seen lots of versions of gnomes, garden gnomes and that sort of thing. Those are fun. You can have them so that they're doing awesome stuff in your garden, helping out with things, I suppose. But what will we have this one do? Let's have a couple little straggly hair from the back that isn't necessarily part of the beard. What if we had a little short arm here? I don't know how many of you have played hockey on ice or in a, well, you could play it on pavement, I suppose, too. Ball hockey. And depending on what era you grew up in, you might have a favorite player. And when you're playing and you have some success, you might pretend to hold the Stanley Cup over your head. It's probably one of the most fabled cups or prizes, Lord Stanley's Cup. Now, just trying to figure out how I want the blade of this slight angle, so not perfectly straight. Now, I don't know if the true origins of hockey comes from, let's say, a little bit of lacrosse and a little bit of field hockey and a little bit of, well, you know, some people called it shinny too at one time. But most countries that have snow and ice, in some ways, play a lot of hockey. So Canada and certain parts of like northern U.S., Eastern Europe, including Scandinavia and Russia, they all love hockey. So yeah, if it snows and water freezes on a pond, you can get out there and play some hockey. So let's see here. I remember hearing stories when I was a kid about people being so excited to play hockey that they would get hold of frozen cow manure. And sometimes this would be referred to as pucky. It's ridiculous. Anyway, yeah, frozen cow dung. How awesome is that? I can remember playing a little bit of ball hockey with my buddies, and that orange ball, if you're playing in the wintertime, getting that on the shin, oh, that made you dance a little bit. It was a rough thing. Somebody would bring a tennis ball. You'd think that would make things better, but it doesn't. A slap shot can really hurt anyway. It's too bad this is a faceless gnome, because you know what? Who says it has to be? Underneath here, I'm going to just sneak in a little smile. In some ways, maybe that became kind of like Captain Caveman. I don't know. But a hockey player smile nonetheless. I remember there was a couple of the fellas who played pretty competitive hockey, and I remember Kirby and Adam. they would kind of team up, and they would pass that puck around faster than you could move, of course, and just stupefy you. That was such fun. The same group of guys would get together on Saturday mornings for it seemed like it was an all-day thing, but really it was. We played till noon, so we'd play football, like kind of like flag touch football or whatever, and it was best after it like rained, so that there was mud, and after a while you'd have to prove that you got somebody, so you really you'd really tag them in such a way that you could leave a mark. Oh, it got kind of violent after a while. There were some people that just made remarkable catches. Behind the back stuff. Bob was out there catching behind his back. Those were fun times. So yeah, I don't know when this trend for the faceless gnome came about and what the origins of it is. As I said, I think it's kind of a folk art thing, and I think it's meant to save you time from putting in detail, if that makes sense. So maybe you churn them out reasonably quick, or it's just kind of meant to be a fun thing that you don't have to put in tons and tons of effort to create. Because detail is the thing that takes time, of course. Now, what sort of design do I want on this hat? Or does it need to have a design? I can just make up something, I guess. So let's kind of work in a little bit of knitting. Now this is not cross-hatching. We'll keep dipping the pen here. What I'm going to do is put in a few little V scratches. Nothing too serious, but I want the hat to kind of be striped. definitely an interesting kind of pen, the nib itself. I don't know the age of it for sure. I'm going to guess that it could be 80 plus years of age. I'll have to look up a few things about it, and I've yet to do that. But I will. So, I don't know if that sort of came across as looking a little bit like it was knit. It's funny, over the years I run into those people that we would have played those sports with, and now we are old and we don't recover as well, and we'll say, hey, we should get together with, you know, whatever, and we talk the game up like that. Not so much the glory days, but we'll talk about the stuff and how it was like, oh, we'd play from 9 in the morning until noon, and then maybe go off to maids. Those were the days when we were, well, not immortal, but you didn't take 5 weeks to recover from playing some tag football, some of the most violent tag football. Ooh, I didn't get any ink on that the last time I dipped it. There we go. There's a lot more on there now. Interesting. So, not perfectly faceless, more or less an eyeless one, I guess. A hockey player smile hiding underneath there. Round out a couple of things in there. All right, well, it's been 25 minutes. I don't think there's anything else that I need to do with that. I think that's kind of fun. little bit of shadow is always nice. All right then, folks. I hope you have a great day. Yeah, come back again. If you haven't been here before, yeah, I draw weird little things every so often, and if there's something that you'd like to see me sort of do my version of, let me know. And yeah, I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you around. All right, ciao for now.